Mr. Pilane, thanks for your time. So why has it taken so many years for black farmers to at least get a seat at the main table?
Good morning, Polly, and your listeners and viewers. Black farmers have always tried to come together. It is only now because of African Farmers Association of South Africa, which is called AFASA, that we under AFASA as farmers who are specifically focused on poultry, to say there is a national poultry sector master plan which the president has just authorized in November last year, 2019. Now, as black poultry farmers, we said, let us come together as AFASA members, make sure that we contribute to this national master plan for poultry, because it has already been there, developed with assistance of other sector players, which didn't include black farmers.
Yeah.
So we're saying the plan is here, we need to contribute and transform it, make it look like it also talks to black farmers who have always been left out.
Now, in your statement, you make mention of the fact that efforts by big players in this, I would say, 50 billion rand industry, if I read your statement correctly, you're saying that these big players are now making practical steps in trying to transform the industry. Your expectations of them in terms of support?
We feel that there is an attempt, but government is putting pressure on transformation, and we know that the sector has taken years to transform, and it was not going to do it on its own. So government stepped in, and we as black farmers need to step in to support government in the transformation of this sector. So we genuinely hope that they mean it when they want to change the sector and give it the feeling and the look that the demographic of this country represents. Because for years we cannot carry on with a sector dominated by one part of the of South Africa's community, and for us to really tackle the triple challenges that the government always talks about of inequality, unemployment, and job creation. We have a lot of black farmers employing farm workers in a sort of informal sector, and we contribute to the food security of this country. Now, we need to come and play where the big players are playing, because we've got experience, we've got expertise. And where we're lacking, we know we've got our own skills audit, we know exactly where to intervene and make sure that we play a serious and constructive role in making this sector do what it's supposed to do in South Africa.
You mentioned the skills audit. Is that where the major problem is for black farmers? Are you lacking in skills to be a notable player in this industry? Is that your admission here this morning?
No, I'm just saying we know where we're lacking, and we know exactly what to do to intervene. Like everybody else, we don't know everything, but we know that we don't know everything, and we know where we don't know, and what needs to be done to make sure that we cover the gaps that we can see. It's not only that, we also lack, most of our challenges are coming from, there's 5 challenges which are clearly stated in the sector master plan for poultry that I just stated, that the government has been pushing to make sure that the sector works for everybody. There's 5 of them. There's cost of feed, which is a real killer for every farmer. There's the scale of production. We know the numbers always talk when you're doing business. And the segmentation of the production, which also is affected by import of white meat from other countries. It's mostly brown portions, what we call the leg portions, which are imported here because other players in other parts of the world are doing well. They are working to make sure that this sector works for their countries. And there's a gap in South Africa because we're slow. We didn't move to make sure that the sector is transformed and it includes everybody so that the numbers of our production are where they're supposed to be. Yeah. The 4th one is inability to export, which I just talked about a bit now. We can't export because we can't even supply our own domestic demand. And transformation, of course, this is key. I would put this as the number one, because once we transform, we will be able to make sure that there's so much in poultry that can benefit everybody. The value chain has got so many opportunities. There's feed, input, which is another sector of our agriculture, which plays a pivotal role in making sure that poultry succeeds and survives. Now, when these input costs are high, we're talking about maize and soy. Those are the key ingredients which goes in. If we transform those sectors as well, where we get our corn or our soya, which is grown in our fields, but for some reason, we get our prices for these grains somewhere else in the world to tell us how much we must sell a ton of maize, a ton of soy. And for us to actually compete locally, we need to take care of ourselves first. Once we can feed ourselves internally, there's no room for everybody else to dump their chickens here because they dump them cheaper. We grow it expensive because we just don't want to do it the way that is efficient and it includes everybody else. Every player, if we all play our role, there's a lot of stake for every one of us in this sector.
Right.
And there's a lot of opportunity to create more jobs in that space while we're doing that. And then we can start looking at exporting also. It will make more, bring more revenue for our country as well.
All right. Kobedi Pilani, the African Farmers Association, the person speaking for this association, of course. Farming is a very, very long and hard slog, and we wish you all the best.